Evidently, we cannot forget about our good friend, Mr. Big Mouth, Mr. Kevin Holland, who's fighting against JDM. Now, he had offered to fight JDM, I believe, in UFC 293. Right, had offered to fight him in UFC 293, but now the bout's actually going to happen within the end of this week. And we'll see when I decide to enlist. I'll probably try to enlist this before the day of the fights, as I am getting my surgery on Thursday, and then I should be fine. Now, I'm going to rest as much as I can, but, you know, I'm not going to rush any process once I get the surgery done. But, yeah. Kevin Holland, you know, I've showcased him a good amount of times on this channel. He's very, very unorthodox. He's very, he's one of the few guys who's lankier in UFC 4 that you can still use pretty well in boxing range for some reason. I think the best part about him too is his moveset. You know, he has the hook kicks, the oblique kicks, spinning shit. I don't know. I forgot if he has the death kick and stuff like that. And Jack Hermanson is really definitely needs a new character model. I definitely would say that this Hermanson looks too old. It doesn't look like the Hermanson that we saw against Chris Curtis. You know, it doesn't look like the Hermanson that we saw. Who was it? Did he fight Sean Strickland? I think that was the one. It doesn't look like that one. But he did get a nice buff, I do recall, so he should be a 4.5 star if I saw correctly. But for Kevin Holland, I think the best thing, he's an underdog. But we saw in the last bout for Jack Della Maddalena, right? He wasn't making the best fight IQ decisions in a bout that people expected him to kind of run through the opponent. Now we get it, short notice opponent, shit changes, but there were a couple things, you know, where when he opted to defend the takedown, right? When he, I forgot one of those. When he opted to defend the takedown, like traditionally, not trying to go for some type of submission count or anything along those lines, he did well. You know, he battered the dude up on the feet. I think he pretty much won most of the striking exchanges for most of that bout. Where he put himself in a lot of issues was on the ground, right? And that took away a lot of momentum in the fight. And a lot of people thought that his opponent had gotten robbed. Forgive me, I forgot the name of his opponent, but oh my god. Maybe that's what I get for it. Oh, these fucking losers. You losers. You losers. You guys ruined this game for me. But anywho, yeah, his opponent, I gotta look it up probably after this. But his opponent had, you know, criteria-wise, there was a point to be made that his opponent probably could have got the nod in the fight. I think with the striking portion leaning more towards Jack Della Maddalena's favor, especially that he had a really strong round 3. I understood him. When he got the nod, I'm like, I understood it. But everybody saw, and you know how the MMA Twitter fan base is, you know, the media, fraud check or whatever, JDM's a fraud or all that other stuff, especially because he recently got added, get into the round. And, you know, it's always a dumb thing for people to say, fraud check. Yeah, okay, you try being a professional fighter. But Kevin Holland, even though he may not always initiate the traditional grappling, you know, he'll grapple from the clinch, right? He'll initiate a clinch. He almost try to force people to go into, I gotta toss this guy, otherwise he's not gonna respect me. But he's always gonna almost goad you into taking a bad shot. He has a nasty dart choke, as we saw against Michael Chiesa. It's a really, really nasty side that he has. And by all means, you can do these undeniable fakes all you want, bro. He has a nasty dart choke, and you know I can see him stinging JDM relatively early. You know, he has the length 4, although he's had a lot of issues with the right hand. You know, it showed up against Santiago Ponzinibbio, right? There were some issues there. And I gotta see, I don't know. I hope no issues to Kevin Holland's hand happens, and he's able to fight out the bout that he really wants to do. You know, we're nearing that. You know, and we've been getting a lot of stuff with regards to UFC 5 news and everything along those lines. And right, so it's gonna be, you know, I want to do some more reaction stuff to some more UFC 5 news and whatnot. Obviously, myself, Marshall Mind being a part of the UFC Design Council, aka Game Changer stuff, etc., etc. We're limited to what we can say for what we already know, but we can give you information on what we can't tell you. Of course. One thing that's never stopped me, despite being a part of the Design Council, I tell it like it is. If you guys recall, in UFC 4, when it came to creative fighters being added to ranked, I was not happy with that. I did a whole petition. Some people are like, aren't you a game changer? Aren't you supposed to be? I'm like, listen here, man. Me having a position in any type of field is not going to stop me from speaking out my mind. And I always try to keep it a buck like that. I'll say what's good, I'll explain what is good, and I'll explain what I'm disappointed with. I'm always going to tell you guys what I don't like. So maybe I should start doing some more news about stuff like that while I fight this cheeky Manson fellow. Oh, nice, that's nice. Little sidestep, little sidestep. But I'm gonna see. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I think after I get my surgery done, I'll see it. Depending, they say that 24 hours after the surgery, you'll be cleared to use like no sir. You'll be clear to actually use electronics. So I think I'll get myself like a blue light filter glasses or something, because not that I forgot, maybe I shouldn't say I forgot, but it's a big thing, right? Especially if we're talking about UFC 5. You know, one of the cover fighters is fighting this weekend, and that's Valentina Shevchenko against Alexa Grasso. And we already seen my boy Israel. Y'all know the whole deal. Israel lost to Sean Strickland, right? And I'm wondering if the cover curse is going to replay itself again in the form of Valentina Shevchenko, because that beauty of a rock there, because you know it was about that she was winning, right? She was on her way to winning the 4th round, and she throws a spinning body kick, and with the quickness of how quick she took the back after that missed spinning back body kick, obviously talking about Grasso, and submitted Valentina Shevchenko, was nothing short of goddamn. Like, that is impressive. That's not a fluke. Like, that's not a fluke. Like, it's the same thing when I was saying with he sidestepped it, you motherfucker. It's the same thing I was saying with Usman versus Edwards. Like, yes, Usman was winning the entire bout, but when I was watching the fight live while playing Elden Ring, I had said in round 2, and I even posted a clip on Twitter with regards to certain things with triangle stepping from Kamaru Usman that gets him in trouble, showing him getting knocked down by Gilbert Burns, and hopefully we can get this guy out of here with the submission, because why the fuck not? Let's go for it. And, you know, I was saying around 2, man, Kamaru keeps moving in that direction and keeps telegraphing his step. And that way, he might get caught with a head kick. And then, you know, 3 rounds later, that prediction unfortunately came through. So I think it'd be very important for Valentina not to. I know we're using Kevin Holland, but we're talking about Valentina, right? It'll be very important for her not to look. The first fight between you and Grasso happened. Now you got to focus on what you can do better. And speaking of doing better, we're talking about throwing up submissions against Jack Hermanson with Kevin Holland of all people, right? Just trying to be petty. Just trying to be petty. I think Kevin Holland, he has more than it takes to get JDM out of there. I think that'd be a really quality upset. On the flip side, though, for JDM, he just got added. He got blessed with like really, really quality moves. And I don't know what that'll mean for him in the next game if, you know, he takes a bad loss to Holland. Of course, we don't want to be here right now. With all these, with all these losers right now in ranked championships, I think it's a very sad state of mind. You know, I've seen the devs have been able to say publicly, you know, there's going to be a new system and everything else and all that stuff. I'm really over the mini games. Yep. What's he going to do? Yeah. Okay. Ooh, he tried to posture to beat that. Okay, thankfully he did not deny that. Otherwise, he would have gotten cooked. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they hate motherfuckers do the same shit every time. Alright, yeah.
Well, anytime you are in a ground fighting situation with this fighter,
I know it's because Hermanson has the standing guillotine, so.
Posturing up now.
And now the damage
pass over here, or we're inside saddle. Yeah, with the whole stuff with the mini games and whatnot, man, I'm hoping, you know, it does away with a lot of these people that do whatever they can to cheat and win. It ruins a lot of the integrity of the game. It ruins the gameplay experience for a lot of people. You know, you got people out here deliberately forcing sub glitches. You have And honestly, I don't even think this was just a UFC 4 problem. There were some people on UFC 3 I suspected as well. UFC 3, we had people that were lag switching to try to win, to get the 2-gate submission, which was already pathetic in itself. That's how a player was able to get to Division 8. But by then, the people had already moved on to UFC 4. So, but yeah, so it's a couple things that I'm really excited for, and I can't wait to be able to discuss that with y'all here on my channel. And do as many, do as many tutorials as we need to. Like stuff of this, for example, like the hip toss, right? Whatever we can do, could be right when the game drops, right? Could be a little bit after, but I would really like something like that hip toss to be locked behind like move levels 3 or higher, right? Of course, with just everything else. I think anything that can help make the game a lot more fun, a lot more where you really have to start to take time to, body rock, read the positions and see what beats what. I think that's something I've missed a lot. I didn't really do that too much with UFC 4. Maybe in the beginning, I figured out a lot of stuff. And even watching old gameplay footage, right? The ESFL uploaded me versus GOAT when we fought for the title 3 years ago, right? And I was watching how I was playing then, and I was like, damn, bro, I was on it. Like, I felt like I was better then than I am now. And, but it was just more so the effort, right? Wanting to do stuff, to do things significantly better than before. Versus now, 3 years of this game, it's like, I don't really feel the need to do stuff. So I'm hoping that UFC 5 is going to give me that right reason. So we can get this guy out of here. Let's get back in the lab. Yeah, we can stand back up. Get back in the lab and have a lot of fun. I'll try to stream as much as I can when that game drops. Drop as much tutorial content as much as I can, because for what it's worth for UFC 4, we know it's a bit of a COVID game, and not a lot of stuff got to be worked on. We did lose Jeff Howard, right? So that kind of sucked because he was a big driving force in UFC 3. So we got to see what the devs are going to have cooking for us without him. Yes, we cook this man's liver, and of course he quits out. But that's that's a little bit enough talking about that. As for Kevin Holland, JDM, he has the tools to definitely beat Mr. Jack de la Madalena Macarena. And I'm really hoping, if he does do that, that it's a back and forth fight, so nobody really gets nerfed in any way, because both of those guys are really quality fighters. Mayor 17, I appreciate all you. Hope you guys enjoy this. I'm out.